So, for all of July and most of August, I was in a math summer program class thing, whatever you want to refer to as, because back in April I failed a math placement exam for college because where I'm going, at least for where I am, a placement exam is required. I didn't have to take the English placement exam because they took a look at my English grades and they thought they were excellent. So I was exempt from the English placement exam I had to take at my college, but not the math placement exam because I am horrible at math and my math grades aren't the best. Not to say I was failing math or anything, but I was in the mid 70s in my math class this year and most other years. So, that isn't amazing. It's still passing, of course, but still not, excelling at the subject. But, anyways, I had to take that placement exam, and I just did not take it seriously at all. I just wanted to go in, leave, and go home, do whatever the fuck. And then I found out that if you fail it, you have to take a summer course. And at the time, I didn't really care. I was like, whatever. It's not like I do anything with my summers anyway, aside from just sit at home and do videos and shit. So it'll give me something to do. The first day I made it into the first day of that summer program, I was already fucking hating it because I had to wake up at 6 in the morning, take two buses to my college because it's kind of far from where I live, and I had to make it there before 9, and I was always early. I think one time I was late because my bus was running late that day, but all in all, my attendance was perfect. I never had an absence, only one lateness out of the whole, over a month I've been doing it. And, I was really not liking it. I really didn't like having to wake up early in the summer of all times. And, also I had to sit in the same classroom in the same seat from 8 to 12, and then there's an hour long break from 12 to 1, and then from 1 to 3, sometimes we were let out early, I had to sit in the same seat in the same classroom, and I was like, oh, can this just fucking end already? I don't want to be here. All this math for like 6 fucking hours straight. I've always hated math, but I've really, really just started to really despise math even more throughout the course of this summer program because I've always hated math, but I've never had to sit for 6 hours straight doing math. Okay, especially math I don't understand, don't like doing, has always been hard for me. And I was like, can I just go back in time to April and, I don't know, knock my past self out and retake this test and take it more seriously so I would probably avoid doing this class because, again, I didn't like it at all. Also, I didn't really talk to any of the kids there. There were like, I don't know, 15 other students in my class. It was divided into sections, so certain students go into a certain section. I don't know what makes you go into a certain section. It's probably just they probably just randomly put kids in certain sections. I don't think it's based on anything. I don't think, but anyways, I didn't really interact with much of the kids there. Some of them were annoying. Some of them like to disrupt the class. I of course didn't want to associate with those kids because they seemed like retards. There was one girl though that was nice to me. We never talked all that much, but she was from my middle school, and I kind of sort of remembered her from sight. We never spoke in middle school, just passed each other in the hallway. That's how she recognized me, and that's how I recognized her. Yeah, that was cool. She was nice to me. It's probably the only person I really talked to there. She even tried to get to know me a little bit, asked me what my interests were, and then like music and TV shows and shit. And then she said she watches a lot of anime, and then she recommended an anime for me to watch, which she really, really wanted me to watch it too. It was called My Hero Academia, I believe. I know certain people listening to this video right now will get an orgasm after hearing that, and they'll probably be like, "Oh, watch it, watch it, watch it! You have to watch it." I'm not entirely interested right now. I might watch it someday in the future. I don't know, but right now I'm not interested in watching it. So whatever. Anyways, aside from that, aside from her making this whole class a little more interesting than a little more interesting than it already was. Like it wasn't interesting in the first place, but you get what I mean. Just a little better. This class really sucked ass. I didn't like it at all. And I thought I would be done after August 14th, after I took the final, which is on a computer. It's pretty much the placement test part two, I guess. I took that, and I thought I did fairly well. I mean, I didn't think I did amazing or anything, but I think I did good enough just to pass it. And I was under the impression that either, regardless if you pass it or not, you move on anyway. I didn't know you had to continue the class after failing it, and I failed it. Of course, I did by like a few questions too. I didn't bomb it or anything. I just got. I don't know. You had to get a minimum of 15 correct, and I think I got 10 of them correct out of 25 questions in total that test has. And I got I got 5 questions less than what I was supposed to get, which again the minimum was 15. So I had to retake the class for another week. I didn't want to mention this to anyone because, well, anyone I know online at least, and also some real life friends, because I was telling them, oh, after August 14th, I'll be free from this. I'll have over a week off. I don't have to worry about this shit after August 14th, because after that test, I will be done. And I guess it would be kind of embarrassing just to say, well, I had to take another week because I failed the test. And you might be wondering, why the fuck am I mentioning this in this video? I don't know. It's just me venting frustration here, so fuck it. I had to take another week of this shit. You probably already knew that because for those of you who are in my Discord server, I would only be online during 12, and then after like 2:30 or 3 o'clock, I would be online for the rest of the day because I would be let out and dismissed from the class after that. So I was still in that same schedule, and I'm sure people noticed that, I was still online sporadically during 12 to 1, and then after 2:30 I'm online for the rest of the day mostly. Yeah, I'm sure some people put 2 and 2 together and was like, oh, he's probably still in that class, even though he said he's done with that class. So yeah, if you had that hunch, you were correct. I failed the test. I had to take the class again for another week. Well, technically 4 days, well, 3 days actually. I had to go to some orientation thing that I was required to go to on Wednesday, so I missed Wednesday's class. I actually went in my class towards the end of the day on Wednesday to take my in-class final. There's 2 finals, the in-class final and the actual final that determines whether or not you're going to be in a remedial class in the fall. So I think I did good in the final. I didn't see my grade, but I'm pretty confident I did well in the in-class final. But of course, the test that matters is the one you take at the very end. And I took this test, and they told me how to check my grade and all that. They don't give you the exact result. They put a P if you passed, which of course stands for passing, and they put an R for restart. Retake, meaning, of course, you have to retake the class in the fall, and then take that test again in the fall, and you pretty much have to repeat this over and over again until you finally pass that damn test, basically. Kind of like my state tests in high school. So, I took this test, I think it was Thursday? Yeah, it was Thursday. And I didn't have a lot of confidence. I was like, I'm probably going to fail this test again. Watch, I'm going to take a remedial class in the fall, and if you take a remedial class in the fall, you're also required to take at least an hour of tutoring after school, and some of my days end at fucking 6 in the 6 at night, and I don't want to stay until fucking 7 p.m. So I was like, oh my god. Ugh. But I figured, that's probably what's gonna happen, and I just have to suck it up, do what I have to do, and hopefully pass this fucking test the next time. And so I take the test, and it wasn't too bad. You get a calculator. Also, I should mention this. You don't get a calculator for most of the class, aside from the in-class final, for whatever fucking reason. I've been conditioned to using calculators in elementary school, middle school, high school. It's kind of sad, but sometimes even basic math I have trouble with. because I'm so used to just using a calculator for everything, almost everything at least, that I don't have to really use my head to figure out most of the shit that I do in math, that I did in math in elementary school, middle school, high school, all of the sorts. And then in this class, they don't let you use a calculator for most of the fucking class, so I had to do a lot of this complex math right in my head, and I bombed almost every time. But anyways, thank God for this placement exam, you have a calculator to use. And I used it, and it helped me tremendously. But I still thought I failed. I thought maybe, maybe I did a little better than the second time I took this, but probably not good enough anyway. People have told me, oh, just try your best. If you try your best, then that's all that matters. Well, really, in reality, all that matters is me fucking passing. And if my best isn't good enough, obviously, that's not all that matters, so fuck off with that stupid advice. But anyway, let me cool down. This isn't a rant. This is just me venting shit in my life. Anyway, so I took this test, and I thought for sure I'd probably fail it by just a few questions. Again, this test was 25 questions like the other tests were. Well, actually, my first placement exam I took in April was 12 questions, I believe. So, for some reason, they upped the amount of questions for this for the summer. But anyways, I took it, and then they said, well, your results will be up by, if it's not up by 5 p.m. today, it'll be up by tomorrow morning, so check this website periodically to see when your results are posted, which, again, it's just a P or an R, if you passed or failed, indicating that you passed or failed. Anyways, I was hesitant to check when 5 o'clock on Thursday hit. I was like, yeah, I guess I'll look and see, that I failed and have to retake this fucking class again. Then I go on the website, and it had a P. I passed. I was like, holy fucking shit, I actually passed. Wow. So much for me doubting myself, so much for me thinking for sure that I would have to repeat this shit in the fall. No, I actually passed. Hallelujah. fucking Luya. It felt like a fucking weight was lifted off my chest. I just felt so relieved, and I could and during the fall I could actually focus on classes that I actually want to do and have to take that don't involve math, and not have to worry about math in the slightest, because yeah, I have a math class in the fall semester, but it's nothing like it's nothing like the classes I've taken in during high school and this class over the summer. It's not going to be hard, I believe, because it's for liberal arts majors. People who don't give a shit about math at all, like me. So it's obviously not going to be a very strenuous math class. It's a fucking lecture class too, so I don't think it's going to be that bad. But anyways. Regardless, I am happy that I passed this fucking class and that fucking test. Again, I still can't believe I passed it. I thought for sure I would fail this class, but alas, I passed. And a lot of bad memories came from this class, especially when the teacher would frequently call on me to answer a question on the board, and I would have no fucking clue how to do it because I'm just so terrible at math. And I would have no clue where to start, so I would just put some random shit on the board, and then the teacher would correct it, and then I'd look like a retard. But again, I had no clue what to do, and sometimes, well, actually, I was very hesitant to ask for help. That's just how I am, I feel like whenever I ask for help, I'm bothering the person, and they don't want to be bothered. They don't want to explain it to me. Especially since a couple of times I've taken tutoring during lunch or even after class. And sometimes the teacher would actually get kind of frustrated at me because I would just have almost no understanding of what the fuck she was telling me. That didn't help at all. I don't react well to people getting really frustrated at me when I'm trying to learn something. I'm probably a hypocrite for saying this because I get frustrated when I have to explain basic shit to people, or at least shit that I find to be very basic to other people who may not understand the thing that I find very basic. But at least I'm not a teacher. I'm not the one that has the job or I have to explain things to people. I have to make people learn a certain subject. When you're a teacher and you get really frustrated that kids are asking you questions and you have to explain things sometimes more than once to make it more clear to them, then you just shouldn't be a teacher, because that's kind of sort of your job to make someone understand a certain topic. Of course, I would understand if all the kid was doing was fucking around in your class, and that's why they have no grasp of the subject. But I did none of that. I was nearly silent every day in her fucking class. Sometimes I would go a day without saying anything to anyone in that class. Okay, so I was very well behaved. I did all my work, handed in all my homework, participated whenever she forced me to participate, like again, writing down the answers to questions on the board, things like that. I've always been well behaved. I've always been on time. I've never been absent once during this whole entire program. So I don't think she really needed to get as frustrated with me as she did, but she did get that frustrated with me because I guess I'm just a dumbass who can't grasp math to save his own fucking life. When I had to retake the program for another 4 days, well, 3 days technically, I still had her. It was in a different room in a different building, much smaller class, like 8 kids, so it was more one-on-one, so I had a little better understanding at math, because the teachers had more time to focus on the kids individually, because again there were much less kids in this second half, if you want to consider it a second half of this program, and there were more teachers there too, and there were tutors there. There was this black kid that was a student there. He volunteered to be a tutor there for the summer. Incredibly nice guy. Holy shit. At first, I was kind of hesitant to ask him for help because I thought it would be bothering him and such. He even sat at my table I was sitting at. At first, I was annoyed too because I was sitting alone and I like sitting alone. And then he decided to sit at my table with me and he was next to me. And at first, I was like, "Can you go?" I didn't actually say this to him, of course, but in my mind, I was like, "Can you just go the fuck away? I want to be alone." But he ended up helping me a fuck ton during that second half, and I really do thank him a lot. And I do owe him quite a bit, because he probably did help me pass that fucking exam at the very end. So thank you, dude. I forget your name, but if I ever do pass by you when we're walking to a class or something, or whatever the fuck, I will be sure to thank you for helping me a fuck ton. Yeah, like you're actually watching this video right now, but still, thank you so fucking much. Let's just pretend you're watching this video, okay? Anyway, but there was also some other teachers there, and by the way, they're not actual professors, they're just teachers for this specific program. There was this black lady who was nice when she was doing shit with the whole class, like, going over questions on a handout, things like that. But I noticed this when kids would individually go up to her for help, for questions they had trouble with. There was this kid who was about as bad at math as I am, maybe even worse, believe it or not, and he was asking her for help, and he was having a lot of trouble understanding, and he was a really nice kid. He didn't fuck around in class. He was never late. He was always there. He, again, just a model student, because he never caused any trouble or did anything he wasn't supposed to do. He just had a lot of trouble understanding math and needed a lot of help. And this lady, I noticed she got really annoyed just explaining the questions to him and how to solve these problems and shit. And I never went up to her. I didn't want to go up to her after noticing this, but I was like, in my head, "Damn, lady, he just wants some fucking help. There's no reason to get this fucking frustrated at him. Jesus Christ, he's not doing anything to piss you off. He's not annoying you. He just wants help. Help him instead of getting frustrated at him." She still, of course, helped him, of course, but she just kind of did it angrily, like she didn't want to be fucking bothered with whatever she was doing. And, she didn't want to do her job as a teacher and help this student understand what it was he didn't understand. But that's just how she was, and I never really had any interaction with her. I didn't ask her for any help because, again, seeing how she was like helping out the other students, I didn't want anything to do with that. The main teacher, the one I was talking about earlier, the one I had for all of the first half and also this half, Yeah, she got frustrated, but she wasn't like that, okay? She was some Asian lady. She was probably in her, I don't know, mid to late 20s, maybe early 30s. She was actually kind of attractive, admittedly, but, she had this accent. Obviously she wasn't born here. I think she's Chinese. I think. But anyways, I know this is probably offensive. I probably shouldn't be saying this, but being with her for 6 hours when she was when I just had her for the first half, when she was the only teacher I had, it was kind of hard after listening to that accent after like I don't know 2 fucking hours, and I was with her for 6 hours. Ugh. I hate the word negative now because of her, because she would say it like this, negative, and she said it over and over and over again, to the point where I just started getting really annoyed by that accent. But yeah, whatever. Call me a racist, whatever. I don't care. She still helped me out though, so I do still, appreciate the help she gave me. Uh, Regardless of her getting a little frustrated during tutoring, whatever, she still helped me out. But anyways, I am done with that class. I'm happy that it's in my past. I don't have to take a remedial class in the fall. And tomorrow my college semester starts. My fall semester. Uh, I don't know what the fuck to really expect. I hear, like I've mentioned earlier, like I've mentioned in previous videos, I've heard all the horror stories surrounding college, how the work can really stress you out. I have a cousin who's already in college, and I heard she's cried over because of all the stress she's been under since she started. She's a sophomore in college now. And, I don't think I'll necessarily be at that level, but I do think I will be kind of overwhelmed by the stress at first, at least. I probably will get used to this after a certain period of time, but still, I do kind of fear college a bit. I know some people might take this as me saying, oh, I don't like work. I don't want to do hard work. I want to be lazy, just lay around, do nothing but make videos all day. Alright, if you really came to that conclusion, one, you're a moron, and two, fuck off. I don't want anything to do with you. But, anyways, it's not that. It's just, all the stress that's probably going to come. And, I don't deal well with stress. I'm still going to face it. I still want to go to college and get a degree and hopefully move on to a 4-year college after I'm done with this college, because I'm just going to a community college for this year and next year, probably, unless I have to stay there longer, which hopefully I don't have to do that. But anyways, you know, um, I know that college can be really tough, and I do kind of fear it. I am kind of afraid. I'll have much less free time too, which is okay, I guess. Some days I'll be home at like 6 at night. Um, you know, um, so I don't know. Videos might slow down because of that. There are certain days like Wednesdays and Thursdays where I start at like 2 in the afternoon though, so I could sleep in late. Unfortunately, I have to get up really early on Mondays and Thursdays, but whatever. And luckily Fridays I have off. Regardless of of whatever's on Friday, I always have Fridays off, so that's really really cool. But yeah, that's just where I'm at. I am fearing college. I'm sure I'll do well, but all this anxiety that's just building up in me over college and the new semester starting. It's a whole different experience, you know, compared to all what I've done previously, elementary school, middle school, high school. I know it'll be much more challenging, much very different compared to what I'm used to, and I just have to face it. I just have to do the best I can, I guess, and uh, I do what I have to do. So I guess wish me luck. I don't know how I'll do in college. I don't know if I'll fare well, but I will definitely try, and I will definitely try my best to succeed. I also have a public speaking class too, which I think is just once a week, so I don't have to really worry about that too much. But it's pretty much a class where you have to create a speech and recite it in front of a bunch of people. Which, yeah, that's fun. That's something I totally love doing. Yeah, that's obviously the class I dread the most, but I'll get through it. I think I only have to do it for a semester, so, get that done, and then, December I'm done, and I have all of January off, and I go back in, like, I don't know, early to mid February, I think. I have to make up my schedule for the spring semester in October. That's the earliest you can do it, so, I'll know by then, by January, when, what classes I'll take and such, and hopefully it won't be that class. But yeah. I look forward to college, but at the same time, I'm not looking forward to it. I kind of fear it, but again, I'll survive. I'll survive. But anyways, I'm sure a lot of you got bored 10 minutes ago and stopped listening to this. I'm just talking to myself, so maybe I'll just end the video now because I'm just repeating myself and I really have nothing else to really discuss in this video. But anyways, if you are still listening, thank you for listening, I guess, and I wish you luck on whatever the fuck you're about to face. And I guess you wish me luck on whatever the fuck I'm about to face because again, I'm worried. I really am worried, but again, I'll get through it, I guess. But anyways, that's all I have to say. Bye-bye.